Hey friends, it is your weird creative makeup artist pal Kat to bring you guys another beauty video, a chit chat. Get ready with me. Before we get started, shout out to these people that commented amazing nice things. And again, thank you Amy for the backdrop. I have to use it again because I love this so much. And if you guys would like to shop my Amazon wish list, it's there. And I also have a PO box now where you can write me. Before we get started, we do videos every Monday and Friday. So you can subscribe for more, not only beauty makeups, but body paintings, effects videos. Spooky Halloween look season is here. But today, I want to do something orange and spidery as a beauty makeup while talking about more ghost stories. We're gonna continue on with creepy, scariest ghost stories from Reddit. And I wanna do eye makeup first because if the eye makeup doesn't come out good, I don't wanna do the rest. So this first story is called It Came to Us from the Graveyard. I'm just applying P. Louise concealer to make my shadow hopefully stick, more pigmented, and pop with some spidery Halloween spooky goodness. Dipping into my Beetlejuice palette. This is the Waiting Room red gray palette. I want to do gray and orange. We're going to dip into Shrunken Head to do a smoky eye. But let's start with this ghost story, shall we? This person was driving their friend's really old beat up Subaru through a graveyard to start off, okay? They stopped as they walked down a hill to come across a little pond. How sweet. But there was something sitting on a rock on the other side of the pond. I shouldn't be doing so many facial expressions with my eyes while I'm doing eye makeup, right? I don't learn. The figure was like a shadowy figure in all black. They couldn't really like see its face or like distinguish anything else about this figure. It kind of looked like an old man, they said, like an old man with a top hat. This person stupidly waved at the figure and shouted out, "Hi!" Then all of a sudden, right when they waved, "Hi!" this figure just ran towards them on top of the water, then vanished into thin air halfway through running through the top of the pond. This person and their friends screamed for good measure, ran back to their car, but the car would not start. And on top of it, they heard a banging noise on the back of their car, but it wasn't like a constant banging, it was just every once in a while banging. But they couldn't see anyone outside of the car. They can't find the source of the banging, so they decide to open up their phone to dial their mother to hopefully their mom could come by and give them a boost to restart their car, you know? But their phone had, of course, no service. Just their luck, right? I'm using my Makeup a Murder Crime Scene palette, the Trace Evidence. These are so pigmented, so good. I want this orange color right here in the color Din. Do you ever look like a creepy person like this, like you're about to fall asleep peeping at someone from across the room, trying to make your eyes not crease from doing cut creases? So for the next 30 minutes, these people were trying to start the car, but the banging stopped. But now that the banging stopped, what happened was they felt pressure, like almost a presence and pressure around them. And then all of a sudden their car decided to start on back up. They put the pedal to the metal, put their foot on that gas pedal, and just raced out of that graveyard as fast as they could. And once they reached the graveyard's gates to exit it, they all of a sudden regained phone service. Just phone service right back on. We're right on target again. What? So creepy. Right? Or is it just me? What they do know coming from this graveyard experience is whatever was out there was not human, it was an animal, anything like that. It was just some sort of really creepy dark presence that they could not understand. Do not know what it was. This next story is called It Was Good to See an Old Friend. This person was 37 years old when they went to their high school reunion. I've never personally been to a high school reunion. I'm too nervous to do anything of the sorts. Like, I'm pretty sure you would have to pay me to go to my high school reunion. But this person was like, sure, and they flew to the nearest airport to their high school and rented a car. Their high school was kind of in a rural part of town in like the country. So it was like 35 miles from the airport. About 3 miles outside of the town, they see someone on the side of the road flagging them down. It wasn't a woman, it was a guy. And it turns out they recognize this guy. They went to school with this person. I'm just using Mary Jane, which is my favorite creepy green yellowy highlight color by Colourpop, and on my brow bone. They say this guy's name was Jim. That's not his real name. They're just putting it in there for the story. But Jim had looked the same and not really changed, just maybe a little older to them. They get into town and this person asks if Jim wants to come with them to VFW, I don't know what that is, at the airport or a bar, to have drinks with them. Growing up, Jim had lived a few blocks from this person's grandparents' house. And he turned in that direction, but Jim told him to take him to the outskirts of town. And the direction on the outskirts of town where Jim had pointed them to go to was where like mobile homes were, and they figured that maybe Jim lived there now. But when they reached the end of like where they're supposed to turn, Jim just said stop the car and drop him off there, and he just walks into the middle of the night into like the trees. He said, just drop me off here, it was good to see you again. So after this person drops off Jim, they decide to go to the VFW bar by themselves. And they saw all their old friends there, right? All their old high school pals were there, their cousin was there. And they're like, hey, and they're like, oh, I'm so excited. And they're like, who have you seen in town? And they're like, oh, I actually just saw Jim 3 miles out of town. And they all stopped the karaoke. Their cousin was white as a ghost. Set down their drinks, you know. The whole room's quiet. And their cousin says, Jim died on that side of the road where he picked him up 8 years ago. Jim actually rolled his car where this person dropped Jim off at. And all these people asking about this, white as a ghost, silent, they all attended Jim's funeral. They started getting dizzy, they did not understand what was going on, went to their car, was just like sitting in their car, not understanding, looked at the back seat of the car where Jim was sitting, and there was a newspaper, the local newspaper, from the day Jim died about his death. An 8-year-old newspaper sitting in the seat of the back seat of his car. It contained Jim's obituary as well. In some of the papers in the backseat of this car. And to this day, this person doesn't understand. Like, how crazy is that? Imagine, I wouldn't even know what to do if that was me and I saw Jim. Because there's definitely been some people I went to, especially middle school with, that passed away. Oh, in high school. Now I'm just thinking, doing a little spider guy here and webbing. This next story is called Hell Hath No Fury. Like a woman's scorn. These people moved into a new house and they were told that a woman died there by the hands of her extremely abusive husband. I'm sure Zillow doesn't tell you that. Apparently this woman and her ghost hated men to the point where the dad of this family that just moved into this house would wake up with scratches all over his body and face. And whenever their brother was mean to this person and their sister, he would wake up the next day with scratches all over his face and body as well. I'm using Oma Beauty's Say What foundation. I'm just gonna tap this onto my skin with a beauty blender. And one day, you know how siblings could be reckless. Well, the brother had hit one of his sisters while they're like play fighting and stuff a little too hard, and he woke up the next day with a bloody nose. Apparently the brother had accidentally broke one of his sister's arms while wrestling, and this was the last night that they were living in this house, and he swears if it wasn't the last night that they were living in that house before they moved out, that he would have died in the house after the hauntings he experienced that night from the ghostly woman that lived and resided there. This next story is called Death Came for Him. This person was talking in their parents' room to their very sick dad at the time. Their father was unfortunately dying of SCOV, I can't pronounce it, this stage 4 cancer, that type of cancer. But this person got a feeling that while they were talking to their father that something was behind them. They looked in the area where the doorway is near the living room and they saw a 4'6" tiny shadow-like figure peeking around the corner. That's like the literal height of my Asian mother. I shouldn't make jokes. It slipped back around the corner and was headed outside, but when they headed that way and towards outside, they couldn't find a single shred of evidence of anything being there whatsoever. But when they went back into their house and told their father, he didn't understand either. But as people were coming to visit this person's father during his last days, they all claimed to have seen similar black shadow figures throughout the house when they were visiting their father. Their mother even saw this black figure in multiple places around the house. The mother was the one to see this figure the most, and once their father passed, the figure disappeared. No one ever saw the figure again in the house once this person's father passed. This next story is called My Mother Attracted Evil. What? After this person's parents divorced when they were a teenager, they went to live with their mother. And when they lived with their mother, a lot of paranormal things that were unexplainable was happening in their mother's house. It's so hard to talk while doing spider guys on my face. When this person would be reading in their bedroom at their mother's house, they felt like an icy coldness, and they felt as though someone who hated them was staring them down at the same time. I know that feeling. And they would get this feeling sometimes in the middle of the day, and they would just leave their room and wait for an hour or so and then come back. And sometimes they would see shadow figures crawling around their bedroom walls. Does not sound fun whatsoever. Something in their house was actually trying to pretend to be their dog. Let's try Aventura. This is a new lip color by OFRA. Ooh, need highlighter first, because it's not a cat sketch video without extreme lip highlight. Sometimes their dog would actually whimper in it from another room and would pace back and forth, and it wouldn't come to them when the dog was being called, because it's almost like they were afraid of something in the house. I love these OFRA lipsticks because they feel like nothing on the lips. And they have like a scent, but it's not overpowering. I think I'm going to change it out with the more brown tone. I always do this. I change my lip color, or my mind about my lip color. I'm going to use Cali Ocho. This is a new collection by OFRA, these lips. Yeah, I think this color suits me better with this eye makeup. I literally almost forgot to do my brows. Who am I? But when this person says when they moved in with their father away from their mother's house, all of this paranormal activity that would happen to them in their bedroom stopped. So I think it was their mother's house, or was it their mom? I don't know. You know, I'm gonna do my brows and my lashes, and I'll be back. And just like that, we've completed today's beauty makeup look and story time of ghosts. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. This was so much fun. I do not like spiders, but I like them cutely drawn on my face for some reason. I just was really into the spooky Halloween season and wanted to hear some ghost stories. Things I live for, and I hope you do too. This lip color is giving me life's blood. I absolutely love it. Aventura, and I put a gloss over it. Again, there will be an Amazon wish list down below, and you can write me to my P.O. box. Thank you so much, friends, for coming here today and listen to me chat and ramble about weird, creepy ghosts. You can see me every Monday and Friday here on this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!